Hello everyone and welcome to Jason's in the House. I'm your host Jason Parasella with Keller Williams Realty in Beverly. Nice to have you again on Jason's in the House. Today we're on location at the Beverly Regional Airport, which is on the east side, and we're at Henderson Road, the new building that's just been constructed. So we're going to do a tour of the building, and we have with us today Bill Mahoney, the chairman, and Bob Mazzetti, who is the airport manager. So welcome, Bill and Bob. Nice to have you on the show again. We've had you on before. This is the first time we're on location at the airport, and we're excited to show everyone the new building and some other great things happening at the airport.
Thank you.
So, Bill, do you want to start and let us kind of just guide us through a tour of the building and everything else that's happening here?
Yes, we'll give you a tour. Just one quick one. They had to raise this parking lot 2 feet so the building is in level with the airfield, and then it met the real road down at that point. But they put the building up. The building is 4,500 square feet, 111 by 60 feet, and cost about $4.2 million. Our share of the contract with the city was about $199,000.
Interesting. So it was $199 that was paid by the city.
Yeah, paid by us. We get our money from land sales. We just sold some land, and that's how we pay our share of 5% and everything. We generally pay 5% of all items.
Who funded the last, the other portion of it?
The state.
The state.
This is all state, no feds. This is a state project.
Okay.
The state had a program where they wanted to have all of the terminal buildings at the general aviation airports looking good, you know, to promote aviation in Massachusetts. So they came up with the program to build these administration buildings. And Beverly, we put into it, and we were the first choice. There were 3 towns. Beverly was number 1, then there was Mansfield and Fitchburg. And the monies come from the user fees from people who use the Massachusetts aviation system. So it's not general taxpayer money, it's people who actually use the system. And plus, from our own revenues that we generate at the airport, we came up with our 5% share.
Excellent.
Okay, so let's go along.
Why don't you go ahead, Bob?
Just the plaque, which has the state names, of course, of Michael Cahill, the City Council, the Airport Commission. And it is a state-of-the-art building, as I say on the bottom here, that with conjunction with changing the name to Regional Airport and this building, we're really ready with this 88-year-old Beverly Airport to serve the needs of the community.
So, Bill, what was this building before the renovation? What was it used for?
There's no building here. This is a parking lot. We took 20 parking spaces and, as I say, raised the parking lot and put this building up. As Bob said, 10 airports in Massachusetts were for new construction. 6 airports were from just improvements.
So there was nothing here except
nothing except parking spaces. Okay. And of course, it's very modern. This is the lobby. We might make some changes to the lobby, like artistic work and so on. There is a ladies' room and men's room behind you, and it's quite modern. For example, you go in and there's no light switches. Everything is modern. It's a highly efficient electrical lighting system. No switches in the building at all. Everything is automatic. But this is the lobby, and we will make improvements or additions to this in a tasteful manner.
Excellent.
Now, here's the office, and Bob can show you his office and the administration assistant's office. Bob and Kim shared about 140 feet in the old location, and now they get over 500 square feet. This is a real modern. Why don't you take them?
Oh, sure. I'd just like to just point out real quickly that the logo was done by the city, which is we think is very, very nice. And all the appointments here and all the artwork was done by our administrative assistant, Kim Crofts, and one of the engineers from the architectural firm, Fennick and McCready and Vertex, who was the project manager on the program. Okay.
So the regional, last time we spoke and had the show, it was municipal airport. So
we changed the regional, and it wasn't easy. We had to change the charter. The charter for the city of Beverly had municipal, so we had to advertise it and change the charter. We also decreased the number of commissioners from 11 to 9. No one in the state had that many, and we had to change the charter for that. So some things have taken some work.
Excellent.
Back in 2012, the FAA did a survey of all the airports in the nation, and they came up with about 600 airports that really were not correct or accurate in their municipal designation, and a really regional type airport because of the economic reach of those airports, Beverly being one of them. And so that initiated the change from municipal to regional.
And also our economic impact that this airport has on the region is $32.5 million a year.
Wow. That's bringing into the, so what is the region? What would be the cities or towns?
Gloucester, Denver, Saugus, it's a region, the whole North Shore region.
North Shore region, okay.
And the whole state and beyond.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, not just local communities.
Yeah.
In fact, of the 110 aircraft based here, only 12% are Beverly residents. The rest are from all over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bob, why don't you show them your office?
Well, my messy office, okay. We're still in the midst of packing and unpacking, but this is the administrative area. We've got a waiting room, which we never had before. No dust bunnies, which we had plenty of before. And then we have the administrative area right here. Yeah. Kim Crofts is our administrative officer, and as I mentioned to her, she was instrumental in all the decorating here.
Looks great out in the front there, the reception area.
Thank you so much.
Every piece of furniture you see, she picked.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it looks great.
Trash cans, everything.
And then we've got an area back here where we keep some of our files. And down the road, we're going to have a little desk here where I'll be able to take some maps out and lay them down and go over what's happening on the airfield, rather than using the big conference room.
I noticed too the ceilings are all wood. It's really a nice. Did the architect? How did that?
Yeah, everything. It's been a statewide initiative. Yes. For any projects to go green. Yeah. And so a lot of the materials that have gone into the airport and the lighting features here, as Bill had mentioned before, when you walk in, the lights go on, and then when they don't sense a presence, then they go off. Yeah, it's very nice. very green, as they say.
You have to worry about turning the lights off.
Correct. Yep.
In going down this main corridor, well, the lights didn't go on, Bob. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay.
The closet area there.
The closet area, and this is the kitchenette that we would use. Or if we had people using the conference room and they wanted to have food, they would prepare it here.
Okay, good.
Now you'll notice a door here, and this separates. If pilots come in during the night, they couldn't get into our part. This would be a locked door, and that's why this door has been put here. But a very This room we want to lease, it's 350 square feet. We would love Customs to come. It's a regional airport, and to have Customs come is important to us. Customs currently have a lease at the Cummings Center till next May, and we're working with them to try to get around that. They've looked the area over, and they would like it. Naturally, it's a beautiful room, looking right on the airfield, so hopefully the Customs will be the people. The Customs at the Beverly Regional Airport is important to us.
Yeah, how does that work? How often is Customs involved with the flights coming in and out?
It all depends on you know, what we're getting. You know, Canadian traffic and traffic from the down in the Caribbean.
So if they're at the Cummings Center now, how are they integrating and coming here to?
They'd have to stop their lease or let the lease run out, which isn't until May, but we're working on that with them. We have a guy working on them because we would like to have Customs here. Customs at...
So when they're at the Cummings Center though, how do they work at the airport to...
What they do, they would...
Not being on location.
They also have Gloucester and they have Lawrence. They have 3 or 4 places that the man at Cummings Center covers. He would cover them from this location.
I see. So they don't have to be on site per se. So right now they can remotely work with the airports.
But also, you know, if you get flights from overseas, one problem is you have to have something to get rid of medical waste. And the FBO on the other side bought a compactor for over $40,000. And that compactor would get rid of, grind up medical waste, and that's an important thing for someone flying.
And food as well, besides medical.
I see.
Yeah, food. Any food products coming in have to be incinerated.
Okay.
But you know, for them to be here, it's also for again for the community. It's another upgrade in the level of service that the airport's providing.
Yeah.
To have Customs actually on site.
This is just a storage room. Isn't much to see. As you can see, Bob is just getting settled from the other building.
So this is used by you, even though this portion is potentially going to be leased and used by
yes,
people using the airport?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, we'll be, again, using this for our storage space. Yeah. So we're finding stuff and losing stuff.
Now, part of the criteria was to provide service for pilots coming in at night. And we're going to walk that. They would come through the door behind me. But then if they wanted to take a shower, this is the unisex toilet.
And there's a shower in the very back room.
As you can see by all the fixtures, the architect, they did a classy job.
Very, very nice. Absolutely.
You can just view this. This is a mechanical room that has our equipment. I'll get the light on. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. This does have a switch. So that's a mechanical room that we have access to from the outside, which we'll look at. And again, the best of equipment. As you can see, everything they did in the workmanship is pretty first class. So it's been used by any pilots anytime, but when a pilot comes in at 2 or 3 in the morning, he'll be given a code to the door, which we're going to walk through, and then he could come in here. He will have Wi-Fi. There'll be a television and so on. He could take a shower. Arrangements he had to make for the rest of the night or morning, fine. But this is the key to what the state wanted.
So none of this was available before, or was it even, none of this was even available? Yeah.
No, that was...
We were behind the times.
Yeah.
And of course, we didn't have 4 million.
Yeah.
In fact, we're going to go out this door behind you. The governor signed a bond bill for like $81 million about 2 or 3 years ago. And that's what got this started after he signed the bond bill.
So is this all part of the user fees that you talked about earlier? As far as
aviation user fees.
this is what they pay for. Part of it is
correct.
Using the,
anyone using the aviation system were assessed part of our state tax, and then 5% of the monies came from the airport's revenue generating capability.
So did their fees go up based upon the new building, or is it
No,
the same?
no.
Okay.
No. But as you can see where the benches are, that's one of the things that the state wanted, was to have people from the community be able to get acquainted with aviation. And so one of their main things was be able to have the populace to come out, sit, and we have, you'll see them later, we got benches out and back. They'll be able to sit and watch aviation.
So anybody, the public could come in, they could come in and use this and
yes, they can
hang out.
sit
They can
down.
come in and sit.
Okay.
But a pilot, when we walk up there, we'll show you the gate they come in. But the pilot would come in, go in this door, the pilot's lounge, and the shower, and so on. And you'll notice the construction, it's still sturdy all the way. The roof structure is goo laminated timber beams and a timber deck. And the slope of the roof is angled in such a way in facing south that we could add solar panels. We are looking into solar panels, but we have to make sure there was no glare in the part of the tower because of solar panels. But that's something into the future. But the building is placed in the right direction, facing south, to accept solar panels.
Interesting, all the things you have to think about
Oh yeah.
before you even put it.
Yeah.
It's good to be planning ahead like that.
And we can walk along. We'll walk here.
Okay.
And again, as Bob said, all the furniture inside and out, our OPM clerk of the works and our administrative assistant selected the furniture, and we had nothing to do with it. They did a great job.
Yeah, they certainly did.
I mean, if you want, you can just imagine it, or just sitting here, citizen of the communities, and
Right.
and just taking a look out. If you
Yep.
want to pan with your cameras, just to see what a citizen would be seeing if they come out here to get exposed to their airport.
So we're looking at, this is the main runway here?
No, that's a taxiway.
Oh, a taxiway,
The runway
I
is the other
see.
side
So,
of it.
okay.
And beyond the green there is our main runway.
Okay.
1634 runs north-south.
Yeah.
And in the slideshow that's going on in the conference room, there's a ramp area. The east side ramp area, which is the new blacktop, and the west side. Both were $2.5 million projects, which we, again, paid 5%. But so also you'll notice that the exterior material is hardy plank. And hardy plank is a mixture of cement and fibers. And it's very durable for the years to come. And as you can see, all of it, the whole building is pretty solid. You can hardly read it. It is still John Mountain Field up on top of the gate.
There it is, yeah.
But that's the gate that pilots would come in during the night and then go in through the door that we just exited. And of course, as Bob said, the tables are put out here, and it's amazing how many people have used this. Kids, older
Really?
people come and just sit and relax.
Yeah, just recently we had some people come here. It was a fly-in, not a fly-in, but a person who had a vintage Stearman aircraft. he came here and he gave rides to veterans who were in assisted living. And so that's one of the first community functions that we had here when we had the building open. And that went over fantastic. They were really, really thrilled.
It's quite an experience.
Yeah, it was.
And again, this is the entrance door. People would come in during the day. If pilots were landing, they would come in and do their business with Bob and Kim. And Bob and I, during the summer of '14, would go into Boston with the other airports that were selected. They would give us an hour and a half, and we'd be surrounded by architects, civil engineers, and picking out the things. One thing I insisted on, being sort of a bug on presentations, we decided to have 2 conference rooms. We put a dividing wall up between the 2, we get 2, but we use it singly as 1. And we have got a projector in the ceiling, and as you see the drop-down screen, where we're showing now a silent view of the improvements made from 2006 to 2016. So it was the building. We insisted on this. It was a night feature. Some people, other airports, have 1 conference room and made the other a semi-restaurant, but we wanted 1 large conference room, which has already been used by the city, and it has been used by us and will be used by us in the future.
Excellent. So any other things you want to discuss about the building, any other features, as we kind of wrap up the tour, which has been very interesting and insightful to see the building?
The only other thing, you talked about the future, behind me is the old airport restaurant. The city have taken over the 72-year-old Navy barracks, and they're working it to house police, detectives, and inspection services. And we want to keep a restaurant. We will put out an RFP in mid-September and ask people to build a restaurant. We will supply certain things, maybe handicapped toilets, a dividing wall, and so on. But to have a restaurant at this regional airport is very important, both for the aviation community and the local people.
So when do you think the estimated time of the restaurant would be going in?
I would say it'd probably be late 17, in my opinion. But we haven't gone out for bids. We'll go out for the bids. That'll take most of this year. We will tour some people. We've got 3 or 4 people interested. We'll make a final contact with them to make sure there's still interest, and we'll put a restaurant there. Because a restaurant at this airport and all the improvements we made it's a plus.
Absolutely. Well, this has been great. What a great job. This has just been, I mean, the undertaking that you have overseen, and this, you should be very proud of this building. It's a really beautiful building. It's come out spectacular, and I've seen a lot of great detail that's put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah, thank you. No, we are proud of it.
So when did when did the project actually start?
It started late April. It took about 14 months. It was supposed to finish within a year, and they kept changing the dates and making changes, and it didn't finish until early August, really. Actually, one of the quick things that hurt us, we had the building plans made, we started to do digging, and the FAA said, you know, we put a 2,400-volt cable, electrical cable, you can't put the building there. Well, we had to go back to the drawing board. Somebody remembered there was 51 extra feet of cable in that cable. They pulled it out. We had an emergency generator, supply power, and they were able to take that cable and put it parallel to the building. But that was one of the things that really delayed the project. In fact, the project was supposed to finish June 30th, and because of these delays, there were 14 different change orders during the process. We had to change it, so the contract with the city and the state, they had to change the date from June 30th to December 30th.
Wow. Excellent. Well, if anybody wants to get a hold of you or contact the Beverly Regional Airport, how would they do that?
Just call our regular number, 921-6072.
607-921-6072.
Yeah, or they can contact for airport information. We're on, you know, the just www.beverlyairport.com.
Excellent. And the viewers should certainly remember the ability to use the area that we view,
Yeah.
the picnic tables and the benches, to see what's happening at the airport.
Yeah, it's encouraged.
Excellent. Well, thank you all again for being with us at Jason's in the House. We really appreciate it. We want to thank, as always, BevCam for their excellent service and everything they do for us. If you have any questions for me, want to be a guest on the show, or anything at all that you want to discuss, you can reach me at jasonparasella.com. Thank you, and see you next time.